Hi guys, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Kyle.
And welcome back to Slash 2. So this week, you're probably aware if you've listened to the past few ones, we're going to be covering our time at Comicon last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the Birmingham MCM. Obviously they do about 5 or 6 in a year, but we went to the Birmingham one.
Yep, at the NEC.
Mm-hmm. So we stayed over at a hotel, drove down way too early on the Saturday, and stayed till probably about mid-afternoon on the Sunday. We got around quite a lot of stuff.
I don't think you were that early. I mean, they were when we got there, like all the weeaboos were in and stuff. So,
so we had weekend tickets, which gave us priority entry. I think it was about 9:30 we got there. The doors opened at 9, but the main ticket holders couldn't come in till 11. So we had a bit of, time to relax, breathe.
Personal space was amazing during that time.
Yeah. So we've got like 50 million business cards and flyers, which we were grabbing as we moved our way around. A couple of people scanned our QR codes, which we were very excited about. And we had some very interesting chats with some people. It was a lot. It was a lot.
And sorry to the guy that scanned my QR code when I was in a hurry. I was trying to find a toilet that had not been pissed up. It wasn't your fault.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this because you happened to grab Kyle at random, we're sorry we didn't stop and chat.
But the other two people we did chat to, you were lovely.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean the cosplayers from the Vox Machina? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was quite a few people we stopped and chatted with. I think we mentioned Slash 2 a couple of times, and we had a few people scan the QR, other people just took a picture of the shirt or wrote down the name.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely fine, whatever works. If you're listening to us from that, hi, lovely to meet you. Start at the top of our pile of things. We're not quite getting to the business cards yet, that's a pile all on its own. What was your favourite cosplay that you saw this weekend?
Ooh, that's difficult.
I know mine just straight off the top of my head.
Alright, you go first then.
The Shrek cosplay. So there was a woman in a wheelchair, looked like both of her legs were casted up. I'm sorry, hon, I hope you're feeling alright. I can only imagine how much of pain you must be in with both legs all casted up. But she was dressed as Fiona from Shrek, with her legs as white horses, and her wheelchair as the onion carriage, and her husband was dressed as Shrek pushing her around. It was fantastic. I can only assume you had planned the Shrek and Fiona cosplay already, and then this happened. Very, very good work. Very good work. That was definitely my favourite.
I think for me it was the Dragon Maid one.
Yes, there was a group of them, weren't there?
Yeah. Toru, Miss Kobayashi, and if I butcher it, Lakoa. Yeah, the big titty red hat, pink hat one.
Good work there, Kyle.
That's the only way. Every single weeb now is like, don't talk shit about my waifu. But I'm sorry, I'm tired, and that's the only way I can think to describe it. Yeah. It was pretty awesome though. We saw some really cool stuff, and the bit that impressed me was the artist section.
Yes, we had a wander around some of the artists. We actually went with our friend Ant and my little sister Abigail. Ant actually got a commission done. He is, I believe I've mentioned him before on the podcast, he is our Dragonborn in our D&D game, and he got a commission of his character, which was absolutely beautiful. With that, we may as well just jump straight into it, into the pile of artists anyway. We didn't get a lot of cards, I will admit. We were missing a few when we came back.
I mean, you do say this, and there is a pile of cards.
I meant of the artists, though. So the artist that did his commission was Lisa Cummins. You can find her at lisacummins.weebly.com. She's also got Twitter and Instagram, both of which are Lisa Baggy. I don't know if she's changed her name, gotten married, or anything like that. So, but she was fantastic, really lovely to talk to. Was really excited to do a cosplay of a D&D. A commission of a D&D character. We approached her sort of 3-4 o'clock on the Saturday. And she actually did his commission overnight and had it ready for the following morning. Lisa, if you are listening to this, Ant was crying afterwards. He managed to hold it in while he was talking to you, but he was very teary afterwards. And he's currently planning on putting through a big order of everyone's characters now.
Oh my word.
But yeah, she was lovely to talk to, really, really sweet. Definitely recommend. She's got some beautiful pieces. If it wasn't for the fact that we had already spent a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, we might as well talk about that. The stuff that we picked up.
A lot. I mean, I'm going to sort of cover it as we go through more of the cards. But we bought a lot of stuff. We'll explain each thing we bought as we get around to that section, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lisa, fantastic artist. She does a lot of digital art. Her website that I listed off a minute ago, they've got a button for commissions on there, so you can send off commissions to her on there. She does both traditional art and the digital art, so definitely good. I will say, because we had some art commissioned by her, I know a lot more about her than any other artist on here.
And there's a Patreon as well, in case you like the work and you want to throw some money.
Yeah. I mean, the next one I've got on my list, I actually did buy something from. Illustrator Jake. I found him on Instagram afterwards. It was actually his first time he'd visited a con. Really, really, really sweet guy. I got a Negretzko pin, an enamel pin that he'd made, which is currently on my work lanyard. Really cute, lots of really cute, fluffy sort of things. Pokemon and all that good stuff. Again, we didn't have much chance to talk to him. Partway through the first day, it suddenly got really, really rammed. And I know you were struggling with a little bit of claustrophobia, and it was getting very much pressure for everybody. So you have to step out and take some time away. And I think we walked up to his stall during sort of that, and I couldn't pass up on the pin because it was just too cute and perfect for me. But it was getting to that point where we needed a break. So, yeah, Illustrator Jake, I doubt you're listening to this because we didn't have a lot of time to talk to you, but thank you. I really like my pin.
So, the two I've got here, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember anything off their stalls.
I sort of grabbed really quickly as I went past. Do you want to open up on social media, because you'll probably recognise them a bit more once you've got them. The first one is Holy Hand Grenade, who actually I've been following for a while anyway. Again, it was kind of difficult to get near the stall. It was a busy time, so I didn't have a lot of time to talk. It's Holy Hand Grenade with a 0 instead of an O. Very, very cool work. They're a proper comic book artist. Hang on, Cal's just trying to find them now.
Still don't recognise any of this artwork. I am so sorry. This is more your thing than mine, I will admit. I was more into the tech and the hardware that we saw while we were there. Yeah. I was losing my shit over that stuff. But with the artwork, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember much of it.
Yeah. Well,
bearing in mind, we did drink.
The website for Holy Hand Grenade is holysarthole.com. Again, with a 0 instead of an O. Feel free to look them up. Like I say, I've seen their work before. I believe I'm following them on Tumblr for quite a while now. Very much can recommend. The last one I've got here is Cesardactyl. According to the back of the card, her name is Sarah O'Donnell. But she's Cesardactyl on pretty much all, Twitch, Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, everything. Super, super beautiful, mostly like watercolour pencil work of dragons and other art like that. I mean, the card itself is gorgeous. It's got Haru from... Oh god, what's it called? The Studio Ghibli film. Spirited Away. Yeah, it's got Haru from Spirited Away on it. Gorgeously drawn. Like I say, again, we had a lot of trouble getting near the stall. So I had a little bit of trouble trying to even just pick up a card from there. And of course there was hundreds of artists there, all doing their own style and their own thing. We didn't have a lot of time to grab everybody's card and get around everybody. But if you're looking at a commission sorting out, I certainly would recommend going to a con or something like that to find people. You get a good idea of their work, you get a good idea of exactly what they're doing. Can recommend. There was another artist we spoke to relatively briefly. I actually bought a couple of things from him. Sam Taylor, spelled with 2 M's. He is
a hell of a salesman.
A hell of a salesman, to be honest, yeah. His Twitter and Instagram are @_the_Sam, again with 2 M's. Very, very good. So he had a couple of bits on there. Actually a comic book artist anyway. But he had 2 of these little books, and I'm talking like less than A5 size. One called Enemy Encountered and One Item Obtained, where he's just drawn and given basic descriptions of magic items and enemies for D&D. So you can build off of the basic concepts and design your own stat blocks around them. And they are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, some of them are very sketchy sort of style, some of them are much more crisp and neat. And it's just a really neat little collection. As a DM especially, I'm always struggling for magic items to give people. I'm always struggling for interesting enemies.
It seems like one of those things where it's like, oh shit, I need to think of something now. Oh, but I've got my little book of DMs. Mine's gone blank.
Yeah.
And it's excellent. I mean, like you were saying to him with the conversation, was something along the lines of, I always like looking for stuff like this so I can find inspiration for more stuff for D&D. And he just went, well, allow me to sell you something.
Yeah, because he had a couple of bits of art which were example packs. So it would have like wizard's gear, and it was like this little art piece which was the wizard's backpack and the stuff a wizard would have in its backpack. One for a paladin, one for a rogue, all sorts of things. And I was like, that's really cute. And I pointed it out to Ant, saying it might be something he would like to invest in. Because it gives him a bit more of an idea. Because he's one of those that gets really into it, and those little details he really loves. And I mentioned it in passing while we stood next to the stall, and there was no one else around at that point. It was quite early on the second day, and he was like, well then!
Yeah.
Sam, absolutely fantastic. You didn't even really need to sell to me, because as soon as I saw what they were, I was immediately up for them. But just some examples. To open to a random page, Frog Witch. She sits in the swamps creating new potions and curses to throw at intruders, and it's got this cutest little art. Another one from the monster one, Scorpion Fly Centaur. Despite its miniature stature, its sting can bring down a giant. So just stuff you would never think of. A slice of cake. Nothing to worry about, right? They're just, some of them are really cute and simple, others are absolutely fantastic. Apparently he actually sat down with a bunch of different DMs to get the core designs for a lot of stuff for these. I mean, from the item one, a witch's magical cat plush.
Kind of looks like a Sandshrew.
Yeah, a little bit with a bell on it. Mirror of the Cosmos. Madman's Warning. Jug of an unknown substance. Sweet Painter's Brush. Ludicro Beak Shield. And things like that. Really, a spirit-imbued lantern. Stuff that you could do pretty much anything with. It gives you a basic idea, and you can run with it in whatever terms of stat blocks you want. But it's a great jumping off place for a DM. I mean, the Enemy Encountered I'm actually going to bring into next week's session. There's a couple of creatures in here that I am immediately ready to throw straight into my campaign. Again, it doesn't have any stat blocks for anything, because it's designed to just be flexible to whatever level your group is. So it takes a little bit of work to design the stat blocks and how they all function, but the basic core concept is usually the hardest part for people. So, Sam, thank you very much. I mean, on the run of D&D things, we did get a few things, including a new mini for you, didn't we?
Yeah, I've got a Tiefling mini.
Yeah. Already painted, a pre-painted one.
Cobalt Star miniature painting. He doesn't just do his own standalone figures though, does he? You can actually send them to him and he'll paint them for you.
Yeah, they do a whole bunch as well, because they had obviously basic minis of Tiefling Sorcerer, Tiefling Paladin in your case, Dragonborn, Wizard, blah blah blah. They had a whole bunch of the basic characters that your players would be, but they also had monsters. They had beholders, they had dragons and stuff for DMs. A little bit bigger, a little bit pricier, obviously.
Is the beholder the eyeball thingy?
Yes.
Yeah, metal as fuck them. It just looks like a Kakio demon on PCP.
Wait till you have to fight one. You know how it's got like those dozen eye stalks with different eyes? Everything in its line of sight is unable to use magic, and it has like 15 eyes on stalks that rotate.
So it's got 360-degree vision.
Basically, if it wants it.
So I guess the only thing to do is run underneath it and have a good fondle.
But yeah, they had a whole bunch of different stuff on there. And when we were talking to him, actually, he brought up, because obviously we mentioned about /2.
Yeah.
He actually brought up that they have a podcast, which is a real play D&D one, called Table Goblins. I almost mispronounced that then. They're on Twitter. I believe their small group is called Hunting Hawks, because it's down as Hunting Hawks YT on Twitter, and on Twitch they're just down as Hunting Hawks. I think the actual game is called Table Goblins, where instead of playing as characters, so as, you know, Deckard the Dragonborn Wizard or Zarthos the Tiefling Paladin, they play themselves teleported into the world of D&D.
Think Unepic, if you've ever played it on Steam. If you haven't, then I recommend you play it, because it's a freaking great game. It seems a little bit like that. Like, you know, go take a piss and never come back, and then you find out you're in the game world that you were playing out on the table. Yeah, and I mean, I haven't had a lot of time because we've both been busy with work to listen to it yet, but Ant has picked it up and he's quite enjoying it already. So it's definitely something I'm going to be looking at. I know we don't exactly have a lot of followers to plug in all these people, but we're putting it out there anyway. We're doing our bit.
Yeah, doing our bit to help the other little guys. I think all of them are bigger than us. Oh, but speaking of D&D though, take a break from this stack of cards. We did go and see Ox Ventures, didn't we?
Yes.
Most of you guys may know Outside Xbox, they're a pretty big YouTube channel. And they have an ongoing D&D campaign where they did a mini sort of one-shot side story at the con. It was at that point where it was getting really, really rammed. It was Saturday, it was the biggest day, and it was, I believe they started at 1:45. So it was like peak time. We'd stopped off to grab some lunch, had a lot of trouble getting some... we got with some chips, and there was a lot of trouble trying to get them.
Half an hour.
More than, because it was so busy. But we were really starting to struggle. We joined the queue, and you were insistent we wouldn't get in. We had nothing to worry about. We were about halfway back.
More like three. We were queued along 3 walls nearly.
Yeah, we were halfway around the con hall.
You see, from the quick glance I got, I was like, oh, there's like a dozen rows. And then we got in there and it was much bigger than we thought. Yeah. But if anyone from the con is listening, for the love of Jesus Christ and all that's holy, I lost feeling in my legs, my balls and my feet on those god-awful folding chairs.
Yeah, they were not even like IKEA-level folding chairs. They were horrific.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Guantanamo Bay's got comfortable chairs than that.
Yeah, it was really bad. Everyone was going numb and struggling. I saw several people have to get up and go for a walk out of the hall.
I was jealous because there was a dude who obviously, you know, he had a mobility scooter and he was just zipping about on it. He had the best fucking seat in the house. Yeah. You could see he was smugly comfortable. Yeah. Kudos to him, honestly. Yeah. I know it's not nice having to use one of those, but like in that situation, he was king.
Oh god, yeah. It was perfect timing for us as well because we were starting to get really sore from standing around all day, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing worth mentioning is they put these weird Bluetooth headphones in.
Yeah, so it was designed to be basically a quiet show. So obviously, because it was like basically a tent set up as part of the con where it's all dark to sort of separate you, but there's still a lot of noise from the con itself. So even with the super loud speakers, it can be kind of quiet and difficult to hear what they're saying on stage. So the idea is they pump the audio through the headphones and you can put the headphones on and listen there, and the noise cancelling. So you don't have to worry too much about the noise outside. I listened via headphones, you didn't, because you weren't feeling it.
Well, no, the reason why I wasn't is because these headphones were on the chairs from the previous people that used them before.
No, that Outside Xbox were the only ones using it. That was a test run that they were doing.
Yeah, but they put them on chairs where people's asses, people's poop particle-ridden, sweaty bum cracks had been sat. And I didn't really fancy getting someone else's shit stank in my ear holes, so I promptly said no. And plus, it's like, it's stupid. Like, the thing that ruined the experience for me, apart from the numb testicles and legs, was seeing this sea of Bluetooth headsets.
And they all glowed bright blue as well, which was a bit distracting.
Yeah, it was very distracting. And there was that freaking, like, some sort of neckbeard who was like, "No, you can't take the headset," because like there was one abandoned on a chair that he was saving for someone. If you're fucking saving it, hold on to it. Don't just leave it there.
Yeah,
and
people got really like antsy about the headsets. They got really protective over them, which was a bit weird.
It's like, okay, if you want bum ears, it's fucking. But keep screeching.
But eventually, outside Xbox, the whole gang came out, all dressed up as their characters.
It was fucking stellar.
Some better to a higher degree than others. One of them's playing a Dragonborn, and he literally looked like he'd got a dragon head plush, chopped the head off of it, and just stuck it on his head.
Yeah, but he was great.
It was brilliant. Yeah, they genuinely were really good. Ellen plays a druid, and she turned into a cat and a bear while doing it, and both times she pulled out a plush of the creature.
Yeah.
And they were bouncing it, passing it across the table as her character was doing different things.
Kudos to her for it, because it meant that she could do minimum participation when she was in cat form. So she was just sat there just enjoying it.
Meow! But yeah, it was really good. Genuinely really, really good. We were going to go to the AMA afterwards, but again, it was... I think we needed... I was bursting for the toilet after being stuck in there for 2.5 hours, and on those uncomfortable chairs as well.
I could have cut porcelain with my piss. That's how much I needed to go.
Yeah. So we ended up missing the AMA afterwards, which was a little bit sad.
No, what was sadder was I feel sorry for the guy who had an AMA about constructing armour, and there was one person there.
Yeah, to be fair, it was the Sunday morning, so a lot of people will have still been hungover.
I know.
It was first thing Sunday morning. I felt really bad. There were a few people there. There were about 10 or 12.
Yeah, but the entire far right row, they were just literally parents sat down oh, Jesus Christ, why do I have to bring my kid here?
Yeah, I mean, early morning slots, especially the second day, are never very busy. They're always a bit struggling.
No, but the steampunk exhibit was fucking awesome.
Yeah, so... Basically, they had a big corner plot, didn't they, with loads of stuff in there. They weren't actively trying to sell anything. They had a couple of bits for sale.
Yeah, like I said, nothing on the actual exhibit was for sale, apart from some badass hats and goggles.
Yeah, so they got top hats, they got goggles, they got a couple of bits. I'd actually picked up, we haven't mentioned this, I don't actually remember the name of the stall we got it from. I didn't pick up a card for them. One of the holographic bags. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen them. They're
Dill appeared
geometric patterns segmented out. When the light hits them right or at the right angle, they go from a plain grey to highly reflective, and they reflect a full rainbow of colours. I believe they're called Luminex bags, something like that online. Normally they're quite expensive, but it was only 45 quid.
I mean, if you ever want to find them, just go on wish.com, rub your face all over the keyboard and it'll come up. Or get a cancerous BuzzFeed article up and be 10 items you never need but look awesome. Also, fucking vote Hillary or some bullshit.
But I'd got the bag, and we were looking around. We'd spent about 20 minutes, if not more, talking to one of the guys at the exhibit, who was absolutely wonderful, really lovely bloke. He got a kilt on and this really nice jacket, and he was talking to us because they'd got first order helmets that they'd all decorated slightly differently. So there was a face hugger one, and there was all done up fancy, and he was telling us about them and pointed us to... They've got a couple of steampunk festivals going on, so I actually took pictures of these. So we've got Weekend at the Asylum, which is in Lincoln's Historic Quarter in August 23rd to 26th. You can go to asylumsteampunk.co.uk to find out more on that one. There's also one that we may be considering going to after the talk, called Timequake.
I want to go.
Yeah, which is at Bowler's Exhibition Centre in Manchester, April 5th to the 7th, and that's at timequake.co.uk. There was also, he mentioned, let me have a load up of Facebook because I found the thing on here. Yeah, so it was called Road to Ruin, which is something that you're very excited about because you two spent ages talking about this one. It's steampunk cars, steampunk car show.
It's more Mad Max than steampunk. It's just fucking nuts.
It's part of the Apocalypticus event, which is the 19th to 21st of July. It looks really, really good. I found them quickly on Facebook, so you can have a look on there, a bit more information. All you search is Road to Ruin, and that's how I found it. So, again, he was so lovely though, but with the bag I've got, the holographic bag, when we were having a walk around and trying on different top hats, a couple of the women at the stall, all done up of course in the steampunk, asked me a bit more about it, because they were trying to find some similar fabric to that to make more steampunk dresses with.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really good idea, and I might try and steal it. But yeah, they weren't trying to sell anything. In fact, they tried to buy something from us.
Yeah, I mean, on the subject of buying and selling, one thing that we had problems with was buying things pretty much the entire day. This is more of for the NEC, you robbing scumbags. Just give your fucking merchants a network point, for the love of God. They will earn more money, they will return in further years, and as a cable monkey network, like layer 1 network engineer myself, it's going to fucking cost you nothing to run that through.
Yeah, because the problem was, like I say, on the Saturday it got really, really busy, and come at 11 o'clock once the main doors opened, all the stalls were so busy that the Wi-Fi didn't work anymore.
Yeah, there was a clusterfuck of 4G signals and Bluetooth fucking card. Who thought it was a good idea to make a Bluetooth card payment machine? I understand Babby's first iPhone doesn't support that interface, but nearly every single Android phone would support a USB interface from the phone to the card reader, so they could actually make a fucking transaction.
Yeah, it was really difficult, because it wasn't necessarily the card reader's connection to the phone, it was the phone to the internet to make the payments.
Oh, no, not quite. You know, when you bought the Tiara, they tried like 2 different phones, trying to get them to pair up over Bluetooth. They didn't even get as far as trying to make a payment.
Yeah, the Tiara he's on about is a headdress piece, like a circlet, that I got from a stall called Serendipity. Absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, we ended up having to get Ant to come and rescue us and pay for it in cash, because it was just, the card machines were starting to die and no one could get anything to work.
They were lovely about it though.
Yeah, they were really, everyone was really sweet. Everyone was really like trying to get the card machines to work as best they could, but it was very hit and miss, and they were struggling quite a lot.
It really was.
They had to pay a whole bunch extra for a PowerPoint, so most of them didn't even get PowerPoints. They were running the phones and the card machines off external power bricks that they brought with them.
Someone had given up and they were just using a laptop. Like, to charge things and make transactions.
Yeah, so they weren't even allowed a PowerPoint. They had to pay extra for the Wi-Fi that wasn't working. It just wasn't great. Like, look after you guys. Like, it's not fair.
It's such a big event, an organisation like that. It's a fucking... It's like a nugget of fucking disappointment when you see that kind of thing, and they're just not looking after the staff. And it's a knock on for the patrons as well, because if they can't spend money and they're going to spend less time on the site, and they're going to leave pissed off. And I mean, like, I've got more chance of being hit by a car than someone from the NEC actually listening to this, but it's good to vent. It's good to it feels good to get those feelings out there, negative and positive. But on a positive flip, some of the shit we bought was absolutely awesome. Yeah, well, let's carry on going through our list of cards, and we can pick up some more of the stuff. I know you're so excited to mention your favourite item, but we'll get to it, okay? I promise. It's fine. So the first thing at the next pile I've got is actually a series of books I bought. Well, it's the first 2 books in a series. The third one's not out just yet. Basically, we spotted this author who was sat at a table. Her name's L.L. McNeil. I love her card because it's got L.L. McNeil, fantasy author, and then in brackets at the bottom, she writes about dragons mostly. You can find her on Facebook at LL McNeil Author, on Instagram and Twitter as LL McNeil. The first book in the series is called Morida, and the second is Palom. From what I can tell, they're in the same universe with different main characters. I've read the first few pages of Morida, and I'm quite enjoying it. I quite like her writing style. I'm sort of excited to see where it goes. But yeah, she had a deal on it. It's been a long time since I've read a physical paperback book, and I mean, more D&D ideas. I wasn't going to turn that down. We got some lollipops as well, which was always nice. Yeah, there was a lucky dip, wasn't there, to win a plush dragon? Yeah,
and I got a couple of bookmarks with the books as well, based on the characters from them. So that's nice. And they're black and white as well, so you can colour them yourself. Which I know is childish, but I like it, okay?
Hey, they do adult colouring books.
But yeah, so LL McNeil.
Yep.
She was lovely to speak to again, and I'll look back and report once I've finished the first book.
I imagine we'll have a book review at some point.
Maybe on the blogs if and when we get them up and running. So the next thing I've got on my pile, Viking drinking horns. There were 2 stalls I saw selling them. Mm-hmm. One was much smaller, more off to one side. But the one we ended up actually buying from, they had drinking horns that were really, really tiny. I got one of the quite small ones. I'd say it's maybe, Hang on, let me pull it out.
It probably holds about like 3 or 4 shots.
It's probably 3 or 4 inches, 4 or 5 inches long. But it's got this cute little stand with it as well, like a proper metal stand for it.
Yeah.
Really, really nice, simple little things. But they had horns that were they were larger than small children. They were like 4 feet long.
Didn't they have, I can't remember now if it was a 2 or 6 litre horn.
Yes, they had 2.5 litre horn.
Yeah, that was $69.99, and I was just like, fucking challenge accepted.
Yeah, it was huge. They had them on stands and on belts, and there were some that were enormous, absolutely enormous. But again, they were more reasonably priced than I've seen them before. I've only ever seen drinking horns before at Download Festival, and let me tell you, they're quite expensive.
Why would you even sell something like that there? It's probably going to get shat in. It's Download.
It's a festival, so it's also very, very aesthetic. Let's pick up the next one on the list anyway. So the next one I've got is dogcharmed.uk, which we don't have a dog, as you know. We've got cats, but they do have. Basically, they sell collars and bandanas. Now, most of you will know that Luna has a cute little pink bandana, and Harley, our bigger, older cat, hasn't had one, and I've been keeping an eye out for something that might suit her. And we came across this really cute black bandana with a really bright rainbow coloured sugar skulls on it, which we have now wrestled onto Harley. She hasn't taken it off. She can actually hear her scratching at it now as she's not quite used to it yet.
Yeah, occasionally it'll move and she'll freak out. Yeah. She'll run around the flat for like 5 minutes and then she'll go to clean herself and realise, oh yeah, I've got this on.
I'll post a picture of her and Luna in their collars later with the little bandanas, but it's the smallest one they do. It's probably a little bit too big for her, but it's fine. They did some massive ones though, didn't they, for the larger dogs? But
I mean, to be fair, Harley's an absolute unit. This cat is pure muscle.
Like, she's always been quite a small cat. She is small stature for a cat. When I moved here, she put on a little bit of weight and we had to put her on a diet to lose some weight. But now she's so hench. She's pure 100% muscle, and I don't know how or why.
It's just a certain dominance over Luna.
She's so hench.
She fucking presses the TV while we're out. You're all swole.
She's just beefy. But yeah, the bandana we got is the smallest ones they do. And it's cute. They did mostly Disney themed and superhero themed ones. Initially, the first bandana we picked up was slightly bigger, and it was a similar pattern.
It was a Star Wars sugar skull.
Yeah, it was Star Wars, but they didn't have the smaller ones in the Star Wars, only in a plain sugar skull pattern, which they're very similar, to be fair.
I prefer that one.
Yeah. She's very cute. She's like trying to lick her shoulder now.
She's looking very special right now.
But yeah, so if you guys are into that, they're Dog Charmed on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the others, and dogcharmed.co.uk.
We need to send them a picture.
We do. We're going to have to take pictures of all of our stuff and send them to the respective companies.
Yep.
So the next one on my list is something I wasn't expecting to see at the convention at all. It was a stall called Eighth Sin, which they had some really cute jewellery. They had some pins and they had bracelets and ring sets, which were obviously connected with a chain. Mm-hmm. Some gorgeous jewellery bits. But they also had bondage gear on full display. And this was right next to like the autographs and photo booth section with all the celebrities.
Yeah, it's just like, Mummy, what's that thing on the wall? I don't know, ask your dad.
Yeah, proper leather harness sets and some of the collars were more sexual, some of them were more like fashion ones.
Some of them look like cosplay collars. If you're going to play as a cat girl, then you'll get the collar with the little bow and the bell on it. Yeah. And if you want to play as a thought, then you'll get the one that's got like a fucking ball on it or a ring on it, which is obviously for...
Yeah. But yeah, there was some
religious reasons.
There was some really, really cute bits of jewellery on there. Really, really loved them. I had a quick look on their website. Most of the jewellery wasn't listed on the website.
Just pure filth.
No, I mean, everything was above board. I still won't let kids see it, but everything was technically above board.
It's bondage gear. You want little Timmy finding out that, like, Mummy was in a fucking sex swing when he was conceived.
Yeah, but their website is eighthsin.co.uk, again with the number 8, not the word 8. And there's also a coupon code on here. Shall I read that out? Because it was the same on all the cards.
Fuck it, yeah.
So it was welcome 10 for 10% off your first order. Apparently they've got worldwide flat rate delivery, so can't go wrong if that's your sort of thing. Like I say, they do have some of the jewellery on there, but not a lot. It might be worth a look, you never know. The next card I've got on my list is probably my favourite stall all weekend.
Yeah, so I love this guy. So there was this crazy German dude who was just giving anyone with a pulse shots of all these different fucking crazy flavoured drinks.
So when I first walked past, I was like, oh, that looks really cool. At the very least, I can use it as a display bottle for D&D purposes, because it's like a papyrus scroll sort of label. They look wax sealed on the top. They're actually not. They are screw caps that have been
I cannot wait to
sealed.
fucking rinse that Friday.
I'm holding the bottle here. So some of them had more English heritage scents to them. Their newest bottle is called Redcoat. They had one that was based on shamrocks. They have multilingual ones. Kyle, would you like to try and pronounce the bottle we bought? Do we use a V's?
Wenn nach Stram schnell Hans get the Luger. I can't fucking pronounce that.
Weihnachtstraum. That's my closest
You went
guess.
fucking Russian at the end there.
I'm sorry. I have German friends, but I cannot speak or pronounce.
I'm pretty
German
sure they were
words.
very offended after
Probably. I am very sorry for all of the offence.
After they lost in the winter.
Basically, the company's called Metwabe.
Mm-hmm.
They do ship to the UK, but they are a German-based company, so obviously there's a bit of shipping charges there. Basically, it's a mead company.
I know, but we're missing out on the bit that the people are going to give a shit about, and that's the flavours.
So the first one he gave me was bright toxic green. Now, I think every single bit of alcohol they gave us that we looked at has the iridescent powder in. So they have that magical sort of swirl to them. It's one of the reasons why I was like, even if I don't like the drink, I'm going to buy it anyway. The first one he gave us, like I say, was green. It had a shamrock pattern on the front with old Celtic sort of symbols. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. It was, I believe, shamrock flavoured.
I don't know what it tastes like, plants and dirt.
Not quite. But the smell of it was so strong of alcohol. And like I say, it's fluorescent, bright green with these swirls through it. And I'm like, this is going to be killer. And I did the shot, and there wasn't a single taste of alcohol in it. It was beautifully smooth. Beautifully smooth. He then gave us a bright blue one, which has caffeine in it. He says it's basically alcoholic energy drink, and that was a good description. Again, blue with all the swirls through. The white peppermint one. Yeah,
that was really nice.
You really, really like that one.
I'd just like to say that I took sniffs and sips because I was driving.
You had single drops on your tongue at a time. I would do the shot and then he would pour whatever dregs.
I wouldn't even do that. I just taste the edge of the shot glass because your boy had to drive.
Yeah, you couldn't be drinking. 1 or 2 drops of alcohol to taste is fine, but anything more than that, you were going to be in trouble.
It got washed down with 2 full cans of Monster.
Yeah, we had a lot of Monster. But yeah, Metwabe, really, really good. Again, metwabe.com. And apparently, as well, if you order €115 worth, which is about £100, it gets shipped to the UK for free. So I'm trying to get together a bunch of my friends to all order 1 or 2, and then we'll get free shipping on them all.
They come in a branded, period-correct crate, like wooden crate.
Yeah, proper wooden crate.
The design burned into the wood.
Yeah, they were absolutely gorgeous. Every single bit of the display was beautiful.
The guy was just like, oh, you should try this one. It's cherry and marzipan.
Yeah, I will say the one that we have is cherry and marzipan flavoured. They also had a cherry whiskey, which was very nice as well. They had a ginger-based one. Literally something for everybody.
But the highlight of this stall for me, obviously the guy, he was
great.
He operated on another fucking plane. He didn't give a fuck. And the best bit was, the security were at the other end of this booth, I assume talking to the member of staff, because he was giving out these fucking drinks like sweets. And I don't think he gave a fuck.
No.
Like, he was just like, come, fucking have everything, let's all get hammered. And
that's the thing, my little sister Abigail was with us, and she is 18, so she is overage, but he didn't check her for ID, and she doesn't look 18.
And she doesn't drink, really?
No, she doesn't really drink, but she tried a couple of them. Not a lot, but she tried a couple of them. But again,
you were knocking them
so
back.
Smooth. I don't get drunk very easily, we know this, so...
You made my mum proud.
And they were like half shots as well. It wasn't like he was giving me full shot glasses.
No, but he wouldn't stop giving them.
I had 5 different flavours, and then I settled on the cherry and marzipan, and I said, I'll have one of them, and he goes, 1 crate? And I was like, no, just 1 bottle. It wasn't expensive either, it was about £20 for the bottle, and that was one of the most expensive bottles that they had.
And they had the skull bottles.
Yes, so they weren't selling them, but apparently they do on the website, which were literally skull bottles with the same alcohol in them. They got some on display, but they couldn't ship them in to sell, unfortunately. Not on the stall. Yeah, really do recommend. They were really good. I'm saving the bottle for a special occasion.
Oh, we're not drinking it on Friday?
We can have some on Friday if you want. My initial plan was to use some small bottles I'd got and turn them into health potions, but Cal threw that out the window.
No, I'd rather not waste the alcohol on it. And plus, after hearing in murmurs and rumours that my character's going to be playing a large part in the next session, I need to make sure I'm as sloshed as possible for this, because I do not like being on the spot.
It's fun. We're trying to get him into taking more of a part in the groups. It's going to be fun.
Personally, I like to stand at the back during the interactions and just be the meat shield in combat. That's where I like to be.
Speaking of combat, though, the next card in my list is for Warren Reynolds. Scoot and Shoot. scootandshoot.co.uk. Props, armoury and stuff. This is the guy with all of the leatherworking. So the braces and the flask holders and stuff. Yeah,
but he also had 3D printed guns.
No, that was another stall.
That was the stall opposite him.
Yes. Not all the stalls had cards. A lot of them were smaller sellers who were selling game things, which I'll get to shortly. But yeah, Scoot and Shoot was one that we didn't get a chance to stop at for very long. But again, had lots of prop stuff. Apparently they do both sales and hire. So if you're looking at doing a cosplay but don't have the money to build things from scratch, or you don't think you'll ever use it again, that might be an idea, guys. Speaking of things for cosplay as well, there were a couple of wig stalls. I only got the flyer for one of them, which was Doll's Head Wigs, which is dollheadwigs.com. Some really gorgeous, brightly coloured wigs, all lace fronts. Not really expensive either, which is unusual for lace fronts. Most of them were about 30 quid. Really, really nice, soft wigs. I didn't get very long at the stall, mostly because I do not have... My hair's so long, wearing wigs is painful. I try to avoid it if I can. I love wigs. I love to wear wigs more often again, because I used to wear them quite often. But it's just reached a point where my hair's too long to be faffing with it. But yeah, very good. Like I said, they've got a lot of bright colours as well, and fancy patterns, so half and half colours, and a lot of weird ones. Good for cosplay. So
this one is not actually from the con, but it was in my wallet where I was keeping all the other cards.
Okay,
but I want to plug it anyway, because it's good. And thank you, Luna. Yeah, so I want to plug these, even though they weren't with... at the con. I fucking love their products. Truffle Pig handmade vegan chocolates. They do more than just chocolates. You can have a sniff, Luna. They do like fucking like baked goods, so cakes and stuff like that as well. They were at a vegan beer festival in Callum Island in Sheffield, and I bought a lot of their stock.
Because Kyle used to be vegan. You're not at the moment.
I did it for basically I got put up to it for a Veganuary back in the beginning of 2017, and I enjoyed what I was doing that much that I just kept doing it, because at that point in time I was seeing a full-time vegan who'd been vegan for like 6 years, and it was like fucking... It's
just easier, isn't it, to only cook one meal?
Well, it wasn't that. It was more the case of it was just fucking Flavor Town every night. It was like having Guy Fieri in my kitchen, but I wasn't eating.
Guy Fieri?
Guy Fieri? I don't know. I can only think of the meme where he slavers a bullet in barbecue sauce and says, "One last trip to Flavor Town." Oh, God. But yeah, so no, I just wanted to plug them, just because... Completely
unrelated, but...
Yeah, if we've got any vegans out there, I know we've got 2 vegan friends who'd probably like these products.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought I'd blow smoke out my own arse about a product that I really like.
So, I believe this next one is one of two. I can't quite remember. The card is very, very plain. It's called Dead Geeky. Let me load up Google and double check which one this is, because it's either where you got your slaps for your car, or it's where you got your favourite thing.
It's not where I got my favourite thing. I can tell you that.
I'm just Googling it.
Furiously.
This is where you got your favourite thing.
No, it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Because they gave us 2 cards.
And none of those. Because I got it from Game Boy Shack.
Cool, I picked up both of these cards at the same stall. Which is odd. So, Dead Geeky.
Isn't this the stall that did the where Ango's Ganondorf statue from?
No, they didn't have a card. I did ask.
Fair.
Yeah, Ant bought a massive, God, what was it, 18-inch Ganondorf?
Well, I didn't know Ganondorf was 18 inches, but...
Sorry, I'm just having a quick look on the Dead Geeky website. Yeah, you might be right. Basically, they, looking at them, are one of the stalls that had all of the gaming-related sort of house stuff, so mugs and lights and that sort of thing.
Yeah, the sort of try-hard geek merch.
I mean, I like that sort of thing.
I know, but for me, it's sort of it's the kind of stuff you'd buy because you want to be accepted by gaming culture, rather than actually owning proper merchandise from gaming culture. A lot of it looks like knockoffs, and a lot of it looks like the kind of crap you would find in, say, a Red 5, for example. It's borderline cringe. But Game Boy Shack, on the other hand, if that doesn't activate your almonds, then I'd, get the fuck off this cast. They do custom, refurbished game consoles, primarily Nintendo.
Yeah.
So they do other consoles as well. So they do the, if anyone remembers the Game Gear, they do repair and refurbishment services on the Game Gear, and every single series of Game Boy. I have a classic original 89 Game Boy,
which you've been having problems with.
Yeah, and I just don't have the tools. It needs things resoldering and all sorts of stuff. But when we were at the store, basically, I just dragged you away from whatever we were looking at, and I was like, holy fucking Jesus, titty fucking Christ, I need this Game Boy. So I got a transparent orange one with a frontlit orange display, fully refurbished, new contacts, new soundboard, new everything. I've peeked inside it, and it's like factory fresh.
It's like your baby now, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've got a shit ton of games that I've been playing on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure we've got all of the cards for all of the side game sort of shops. Do you want to go through the stuff we did buy game-wise?
Okay, yeah. So, I got Super Mario Land, just so I could actually play on it and test it, which, I didn't actually have it, so it's a win-win. It's one more for the collection. I found a Japanese copy of Wipeout for the PS1. Thankfully, I've got a modded PS1 so I can play it.
Because they had an English version and the Japanese, and you almost got the English before we spotted.
Yeah, and then I spotted that fucking rarest of Pepe's, Wipeout 3, and I was like, holy fuck, I need this. And
then you saw the price.
Put it down as soon as I saw it was 50 shekels.
Yeah, because, I mean, some of the stuff we bought was definitely underpriced.
Yeah, that sealed copy of Jet Set Radio for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, which we got for a tenner. It's definitely worth more than a tenner. There were some of them, because there were a lot of stalls which had these old games, and big car boot sale sort of feel. They had old toys and old games and blah, blah, blah. And my assumption is they mostly are either on eBay or coming to cons like this and just flogging everything they can find. It sounds like they don't always know what they've got.
I mean, I am sorry for the guy I pissed off on one of the stalls, and I'm really sorry, I can't remember which stall you were on. All I remember is you were blagging to somebody about how, if we didn't have it, it wasn't worth having, and yada, 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 we can get you anything you want. So I came out straight away and was like, okay, I need a GameCube composite cable, let's talk money. And he was like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And just straight up was like, you're never going to get one. I don't even think they exist. Quick eBay, I found one on eBay for 70 quid.
Yeah, but there were a lot of the stalls that had rare old consoles and controllers.
And merch.
And merch.
There was a Half-Life 2 gravity gun, which I have the portal gun, so I wanted the gravity gun so I could have a matching gun rack with them on. Apart from it was £295 compared to the $89.99 that they were at retail.
But yeah, speaking of, I've got one flyer and one card here from that style of stall. One is deadpanrobot.co.uk. I've just had a quick double check to make sure that was what I thought it was. And the other one is OSI Toys. Again, ositoys.co.uk.
He was more of like a collector and dealer.
Yeah, so it was all vintage stuff. He had more of the toys than anything else. But he did have some games in there. He
had shit that, like, if you were brought up in the 90s, you'd have lost your mind over. He had Tamagotchis and all sorts.
Yeah, he did. They were so cute. I've not seen an actual old-style Tamagotchi since I was a kid, so... quick plug. Both of those. If you're looking for old games and toys and stuff, collectibles, it's definitely worth having a nosy at quickly. Now, we've only actually got 2 flyers left, and I don't think we've covered half of the stuff that we saw, but the first one on my pile now is Magic Madhouse. Now, from here, I actually got a few D&D stuff, didn't I? We got a couple of sets of dice.
Yep.
One each. And I also got... one set of Martial Powers and Racers spellbook cards, which they are really hard to find locally. We have like one actual game shop and they stock very limited. And I also got something I can't get locally, Monster cards, CR 6-16, which is where the game is at the minute. Again, almost impossible to find. And immediately I pulled out the Rakshasa and was like, this is what you fought. And everyone went, oh, okay, now I get it.
I really enjoyed the cards. I think the artwork's really good on them.
That's the official art as well.
Nice.
The Martial Powers and Races is missing a few things, but it's fine. I thought the set would be more complete, but it's mostly for monks, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, some really good stuff. And last of all, the last flyer I've got is probably the thing we're going to get the most use out of, and the thing we're both enjoying the most.
Yep.
Cobra cords. So, how long would you say these things are?
About 10 foot.
Yeah, 10 foot, proper, hard-wearing, heavy-duty charger cables for your phones. And we paid like a tenner each.
The guy had his fucking silver tongue who was selling them.
And he was so chill about it as well. Because he was making jokes and, fast talking style, but he was so chill, like relaxed.
It's because he's doing fucking reeled us in with his 10-foot cord.
I mean, they were up there. He didn't really have to explain to us all the fanciness about it. We saw them. We could see from a distance that they were decent cables, and
10-foot distance.
We needed them. Yeah, we knew that we needed them. So again, he didn't really have to do much work, but he was still selling it as best he could. Later on, we went back with my sister so she could get one, and they were supposed to be £12 each, or £10 if you bought multiple. So we got ours for a tenner. Abby was £1 short, and he was like, don't worry about it, I'll just do it for a tenner. So thank you, because it really made her day. Again, my plug for my side of the bed is actually at the foot of the bed, because we're pushed up against a wall. So even though I had like a 3-foot cable, I couldn't really use my phone in bed, and it was awkward and constantly came unplugged. I can literally tie myself up in this cable and it's still reach and not unplug. Yeah, it's amazing.
The strangulation risk is at peak.
Yeah, it's quite sharp as well because they're aluminium wrapped, which is obviously nicer than the normal fabric ones. It's less likely to.
It's not going to splay that. I mean, it's just a high quality product.
And they gave us actually a 1-year warranty on it, which they've given us a little warranty flyer, which has got all the website and that. Sorry, not the website because there's no website on it.
I imagine if you Google it, though.
You can email them at cobracordteam@gmail.com. And apparently they're based in Dorset.
Well, that were a nice try.
Yeah. But yeah, basically saying that it's got a 1-year warranty. If anything happens, they will 100% replace them.
Yep.
You've also got a 30-day return policy on them. So they are hard-wearing, long-lasting cables, and they know they are, and they're confident enough in them. How many other places can you buy a phone charger which gives you a warranty with it?
Not Apple.
Nowhere, literally nowhere. And they had both Apple and Android cables.
I love that he just... Because he was like, what kind of phone you got? And I was like, Android. And he just looked at the Apple cable like it was shit on his shoe and threw it away.
Yeah, it was great.
He was like, you need this, sir.
Yeah, good, we get the good stuff out. And it's like, they're identical cable.
But the way he was selling it was like, this cable will give you the power of a god. Yeah. You'll be hung like a horse and you'll be able to punch through a brick fucking wall.
It was really good, though. Genuinely couldn't fault it. We don't have a flyer for it, but there is something else we bought that I've just remembered, which was a chest for your dice.
Yes.
Leather-bound chest on the outside, very nice, and that wasn't very expensive either. But a lot of the stalls didn't have cards, so we couldn't really, or actual branded names or anything on them, so we couldn't really find them again later. But sorry, the cat's sniffing at me. But yeah, there was some things that we're obviously going to have a lot of trouble trying to find again.
Yeah.
Purely because either we couldn't see, they didn't have cards, we couldn't find anything. I'm sure if we hunt hard enough, because we did get a copy up of the guide.
Well, as long as we can remember roughly where the stall was, there is a full A to Z of every single stall that's been there.
Oh, that's all right then.
So
that's okay. I'm sure we'll over the next few months find more things and share it with you guys.
We will backtrace that with the internet police and figure out where the fuck everything is. It was a great time. It was excellent. There was only a handful of cringy outfits, so cringe review wasn't going to be as abundant as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, you were slightly disappointed in that, weren't you?
Yeah. I think the best thing by far was that Iron Man costume that guy made out of what looked like plastic bags and yellow card.
As we were leaving as well, we actually came across first we walked past a single Shaun from Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
On his own, playing with a backpack, and he sort of, as we walked past, I smiled.
Mm-hmm.
And then further up the way, there was a bunch of zombies all sort of stood around, rather dead looking, and then in the middle of them was just a Shaun pretending to be a zombie as well.
With the cricket bat.
With the cricket bat. It was good. We didn't cosplay, obviously, because we were wearing the shirts, but I think we've pretty much decided we are next year.
If I can get it up to a high enough standard, I will. If not, I'm just going to shamelessly plug the podcast again.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to.
I'm going to get merch, so it'll be podcast t-shirt, podcast hat, podcast hoodie, podcast jogging bottoms.
Well, I've been thinking about merch stuff recently. I don't think we're anywhere near ready for merch, but
no, just for me.
Yeah, just for you.
So I can shill the podcast.
Podcast shoelaces. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you can think of? Oh, there is one last thing we wanted to mention.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we were walking around, there was a small stall who again didn't have cards.
Oh, yes.
But we ended up talking to them for about half an hour. So they had wood carved chests and DM screens and a few dice trays. All wood carved, beautifully done. And not that expensive, really. And we were talking to him, and most of the stuff had already sold. They had one copy of each.
Yeah, you wanted to buy it, didn't you? And it was it's gone, sorry.
It's already been sold. They've come in to pick it up later, which was a little sad. But they're currently down as ukhomeware.co.uk, but they are branching out into specifically D&D sort of stuff, which is going to be fandomonium.co.uk. The website isn't up yet. I did check before we started recording. He did say they were building it currently, so...
However, ukhomeware.co.uk is still up, and it will at some point, I imagine, also either link in or redirect to.
And they do a lot of normal sort of homeware stuff, again, carved wood and other bits and pieces, mirrors that in different shapes. But the Fandomonium is going to be based more directly on D&D stuff. And we ended up talking to him quite a while about the podcast and stuff, and he took our podcast name down. So if you're listening, hi, I'm sorry I forgot your name immediately. But he gave us his email address, and we're looking at possibly helping him playtest some of the stuff. Obviously, get a few bits from them. I want that DM screen anyway. We gave him a few ideas of things as a DM I'd like to see. Initiative trackers that are more than just pegs on a pole. Some slightly more interesting stuff. And basically we had a bit of a natter. He agreed that they're currently designing a few bits. And yeah, I'm looking forward to grabbing a few things from them, and we can tell you a bit more about them as time goes on. It would be nice to, obviously, because we're still growing, it'd be nice to be alongside a company like that that's growing and just starting off as well. Give them everything we can, because they, like I say, he was a lovely bloke, and like I said, the stuff was absolutely beautiful, just already sold by the time we got there. It wasn't late we got there either. It was on the first day. It was just before it started getting really busy.
But if that isn't a sign of the quality of their product, then I don't know what is. Because if someone's going to come up straight away and just be like, shut up and take my money, and the guy's going to be like, when would you like your breakfast, sir? You know, like that just says straight away, like, this is a high quality product. And he was even mentioning about a DM screen that you could potentially, like, bind an iPad into.
Yeah, mount iPads and tablets into, so you could do obviously more with them.
You are a digital DM primarily. You hide behind a laptop for most of the game.
Well, I'd love to not. The issue is that I started building this campaign on Roll20 for an international game, and I'm just reusing...
I think it's a good thing. I think it gives us a lot more flexibility. There's a lot less downtime in the game because you're not just like going through a deck of cards like, fuck, where's that gone? Yeah, exactly.
I've usually got pretty much everything to hand, and to be honest, half the time I'm Googling stuff anyway, because I don't know what every spell does, I don't know what every item does, I need to find stuff, hang on.
Yeah, but that makes the game a little bit more interesting, and it gives me more time to drink.
But yes, I would like a DM screen where I could mount a tablet in. I don't like being trapped behind my laptop. It's terrible to try and roll dice on a laptop.
Amen to that.
But it'd be nice to have a bit more flexibility with it. But yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be pretty much everything we've got time for. Is there anything else you can think of from D&D?
No.
Not D&D, sorry, from Con?
The Con? No. There's nothing else that really comes to mind other than it was a wonderful experience. NEC, suck my dick, because you made those stall guys' lives hell. But beyond that, no, I think it was a fantastic. Would definitely recommend. First con I've ever been to. First impressions, apart from purchasing issues. Nice, friendly people. Plenty of characters. Seeing Deadpool dance with the cast of My Hero Academia is always fun.
Before we close out, there is one last cosplay I wanted to mention.
Is it the Pikachu?
No.
Oh.
There was a fully inflatable Pikachu like you see in the Japanese adverts. But what I was going to mention is the Monty Python and the Holy Grail cosplay.
Hats off to these guys.
It was spot on. So you could hear them coming a mile off because of the click-clock of the coconut halves. I'm assuming they were a couple, they might not have been, but the female of the two had on the backpack with all the stuff hanging off of it. It was beautiful. Or
what about when they came round the last time we saw them, there was a guy with very aggressive, very angry dooting from a kazoo of the Monty Python and the Holy Grail theme as they were riding past, and it completely fucking caught them off guard.
They had no idea what they were doing.
It was great. And they were very polite. We all moved out of the way as they came clip-clopping around the halls, and it just mixed things up a little bit. Yeah,
I mean, there were a few Deadpools playing loud music as they were walking around from hip speakers and stuff, which was funny the first time. It got very annoying after a while.
Yeah.
But Monty Python guys, like, she must have been so tired that because both of them must have been, because they were like pretending to ride horses, and she was clopping the whole time.
He was in heavy armour, and she had a huge backpack.
So they must have been exhausted. But hats off to you guys, that was fantastic.
That's one way of getting a workout.
But yeah, next year we're on about cosplaying ourselves. I think we're doing ones based on our D&D characters.
Yeah, I'm going to say I cosplayed myself this year, so a high level functioning call centre employee that's not depressed or upset in any way with his life. And I think I pulled it off on point.
Anyway, so next year we may be off in full costume. Well, if we do, we'll have to take pictures of ourselves and post them to Instagram and Twitter in case people want to come and say hi. Yeah,
maybe we could do like a sub thing where we actually make little videos of like the costumes and the armour and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do work in progress as we're building the cosplays, that'd be good. We can look at uploading those to YouTube alongside the podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not going to lie, we've been back a couple of days and I've already designed like my costume and part of Ant's. Ant is going to be the fun one because he plays a Dragonborn, so we've got to build all the prosthetics. For us, it's just horns and green and blue face paint.
Well, no, I've got to make a shit ton of armour, and I want to make it out of aluminium.
That's not good, Kyle. That's not how it works.
It is, though, because I want it to actually take a hit.
Foam can take a hit. That's the point of it.
No, but...
It's not going to be how you think it is, but we'll discuss it later anyway.
I can say, there's just something extra badass about your armour clunking when you walk around in it, rather than it being made entirely out of foam. And plus...
But we'll sort something.
It's just cool. It's just cool.
We'll sort something. Anyway, that's all we've got time for, you guys. I think we're running a little bit over, actually. I may have to trim some little bits.
Oh, God, definitely.
Very, very quickly. Next week.
So... Next week. So, I know what we're doing, but I don't want to give it away, but I do want to give some advice on it.
I mean, normally we do tell them what we're doing next week.
Do we?
Yeah.
I thought we gave them a bit of advice. Yeah. Balls to it. Character creation.
Yeah, we're looking at character creation. Both in terms of D&D and building a character like that, and what makes a good character, a good NPC, a good main character. Some little bits of tips and tricks that I've learned over the years playing D&D, and you've learned from looking at how games do it well and poorly.
Yeah, but don't be a bad NPC. Stay woke and develop your own character.
Is that your advice for the week?
Yeah, primarily don't be an NPC bit.
My advice is flaws are good.
Flaws are good.
No one likes a Mary Sue.
Is that like same as being an NPC? Is that like Orange Man bad? Or
have you never heard of a Mary Sue?
No. I'm a very sheltered person. I play video games and masturbate. That's pretty much my life.
So Mary Sues tend to be self-insert. They are the perfect character who everybody loves and can never do anything wrong, and usually is super powered for no reason in a world where it doesn't make sense, and they are perfect. If anything, they are too nice and they are too beautiful, and those are their flaws. Yeah.
That just sounds really annoying.
Yes, they do tend to be.
Do these characters come with a punchable face?
If only. But yeah, that's all we've got time for, guys. We hope you have a very good week in the meantime, and we'll speak to you soon.
Adios.
Bye.